analog lovers. Today I have a video featuring my beautiful Paper Republic XL front and center. But the topic today will be about self-study, specifically a self-curriculum. Now, you may or may not have heard of this term before. I stumbled across it on TikTok actually, but I have seen it on YouTube as well, where people are creating a curriculum to study and without obviously being in any formal education, in order to expand their minds and learn things. Because I think on our day-to-day, in our day-to-day lives as people who have smartphones glued to us, we are actually learning a lot less. We're absorbing a lot of media, a lot of content, a lot of rubbish, but we're not learning much, and we're not actually helping our minds in any way. So this concept of a self-curriculum is really fascinating to me. And as somebody who loves, like, I'll research topics on my own with no one telling me I have to. I'll just fall down a rabbit hole and research and take notes on topics that interest me. Pardon me, I have a little bit of a scratchy throat, so I apologize if my voice goes in and out. But I did want to do this today because I'm starting it on September 1st, and I'm going to be using my Paper Republic, one of the notebooks in my Paper Republic, for my curriculum. So I thought about my topics very carefully, and I picked 3 broad umbrella topics, and I have some text that I will put under each one. So let me just dive straight in and I'll show you. So this is my notebook that I'm going to be using. This is the Spring 2025 curriculum, and it's volume 1 because it is not that thick. So I have a feeling I will go through it fairly quickly. I don't know how many volumes there'll be yet, but there'll be some. So I'm just going to move my little baby over here so you can see. Now, what I have here in the front is, these are my 3 topics. So it will be running from September to November this year. I'm in the Southern Hemisphere, so it's my spring, but for everyone else, it will be your autumn or fall. And the 3 topics that I'll be doing will be philosophy and psychology, writing, and nature. The first topic here I picked because I started reading this book, which is The Anatomy of Melancholy by Robert Burton, and it's a book that has intimidated me from my shelf for a very long time, and I never thought I would read it, but I randomly picked it up and I started reading it, and it wasn't as dense, it wasn't as dry as I thought it would be. It was actually very interesting and funny and satirical in a lot of ways. But I found myself underlining a lot, and I found myself writing down a lot of notes as I was reading it. So this, of course, is going to be my main focus, I think, for my curriculum, because it's a huge book and I don't even think I'll get through it in the 3 months. But I would do my best. And if it has to carry on to the next season, that is totally okay. So The Anatomy of Melancholy will be my main text, but I'm going to have some supplementary text that weirdly I think tie into what I've read so far of that book. The Book of Disquiet, Nausea, and then I have a couple of books that I want to look into from Simone de Beauvoir. And Proust, believe it or not, In Search of Lost Time, I've thought of him a few times as I've been reading this. So I have some other texts that I want to read. And look, if they don't tie in, that's fine. But I just kind of want to have that list there so that if I need a reference point, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I want to read some Nietzsche or, Genet or whoever. And there's also a philosophy course I found on YouTube that I want to watch. So that will be the philosophy and psychology. I am also a writer, and I'm on my second draft of my novel at the moment. I've been writing my whole life, it feels like. I studied English literature and I studied writing, I've loved writing books in general, and I usually get a lot out of them. But I just recently, the other day, like a couple of days ago, started Steering the Craft. And this book here, which I'll show you. And what I liked about this book was from the very beginning, she said that this is a book for seasoned writers, like people who, they're not beginners, they actually want, like they've been writing for a long time, but they want to perfect their craft, they want to grow their craft. And I thought I would, I know it's not September yet, so I'm technically cheating, but I just did one of the exercises because I wanted to read the first chapter and do the first exercise to see if I did want to commit to it for the whole season. Because if it wasn't my vibe and I've written it down in here, I am not going to change it. I would just suffer through, and I don't want to suffer. This is an enjoyable thing. So I'm going to be doing all the exercises through this whole book, and there's quite a few. And I think I might do a separate video on the exercises that are in that, because I think that they're really great, and I'd like to talk about them a little bit more for any writers out there. And my third topic will be on 2 nature things. I have a huge fascination with mushrooms. I actually had this washi tape that just arrived, which I can't wait to use. And so mushrooms will be one topic, and moss and lichen will be another topic, because who isn't obsessed with moss? I feel like, or maybe not everyone, but I am. Anyway, moss and lichen. So I want to study both of those. And I have a book right now. So I have this one here, which is Entangled Life, all about fungi, which is really cool. And there are 2 more that I know I need to buy. I need to buy Gathering Moss and Moss and Lichen to further my studies. But I'll also be watching YouTube videos and anywhere else I can squeeze knowledge and information from. So they're my 3 main topics, but I am expecting them to kind of, I don't know, they might expand, they might digress, we'll wait and see what happens, because this is the first time I'm doing this formally. I say formally, but even then I've seen some people create like a weekly syllabus almost for them to follow. And I've heard people say, look, they go on ChatGPT and it'll create them for them. But I really don't want, I don't want anything too formal. I don't want anything too restrictive. I don't want something that's going to make me feel like I've fallen behind and then I'm frantically panicking trying to keep up. That's not what this is. This is for joy. And I want it to stay in that realm of joy. So I'm going to be doing these things loosely. And I'm also going to chop and change between the topics. If I don't feel like reading about mushrooms or moss for 2 weeks straight, I won't. I'll focus on what I want to do, and it'll chop and change. So very fluid. We're just going to wait and see what happens. So I have my key here, which I'll be, because I thought about this and I thought, am I going to do a separate notebook for each topic, or am I going to do one notebook? And I've decided that one notebook is the way to go for me, because it's just going to get out of hand. I have so many notebooks going as it is, and I can't add 3. So we're going to do one, and we're going to use a key. The reason I like the Leuchtturm books, this is the B6 Plus, because it fits beautifully in the XL. But the reason I like them specifically, besides the fact that I do like the paper, they have a really cool index. So I want to be able to keep track of what is where. And yes, I'll be using the key, but I want to know what pages have what on them. And all the pages are numbered, which is awesome. So I did excuse my really bad handwriting. I know some people on YouTube have beautiful handwriting that I could stare at and dream about having, but my handwriting is atrocious. So we're gonna roll with it. But I did the first 2, it's 2 parts to one exercise. And I put my writing dot there. So with everyone moving forward, I will have in the corner the color. So if I need a reference, if I want to go back, and then down the track, like when I finish all the topics, if I want to separate them and put them in their own books, I might figure out a way to do that. But for now, this is the way to go. This is how I'm going to do it. Now, I would really love to hear if any of you have thought about doing this self-curriculum. Do you have any tips, advice, anything you want to throw at me? I would love to hear it, because although I am a natural studier, I think, even when I'm not being a student, I like to try and keep that academic part of my brain stimulated. I've never done it in this way. I've never done it in this structured way before. So if you if you have any advice for me, I am very open. I would love to hear it. But if you're interested in seeing how this goes, I will make another video maybe down the track, and I'll show you how I've been inputting all of my work, my homework in here, and I'll report back on how it's been going as well. But this is my self-curriculum in my Paper Republic. I thought of no better home than this baby. I'm really loving the olive color. I can't stop looking at it, actually. Although I had to kind of stop myself from going on their website and purchasing another one, because I nearly thought, oh, well, if I have a whole other Grand Voyager purely for the curriculum, then I can. I'm like, Lauren, just stop. So guys, don't let me buy another one of these. I love them, but I'll stick with the two that I have for now. So thank you for watching, and yeah, please in your comments or message me or anything, any sort of advice. I am very eager to hear. I'm super excited to start this. I'm sure it'll be great, and I will let you all know how it goes. Okay, bye.